At the very outset, I would like to thank Dr Mukul Sangma, the Honourable Leader of Opposition, for having brought this resolution. At the same time, I would like to thank all the members. So many have participated. I may not be able to name each and every one, but everybody who has participated in this resolution, I would like to thank each and every one of them. So having said that, this may be one of the most difficult and complicated situations or replies that I am giving. It's difficult, sir. Very difficult to stand here at this moment. As a Chief Minister, as of course a party leader, as an MLA, as a citizen of Meghalaya, and as a Garo individual. So there are many, many sides to this story. I appreciate our members who have spoken today. A large number of them, sir, including yourself, had to get up and say that you are opposing this resolution. And I know tomorrow some people will take this small clipping and say that these MLAs are against the Garo people. They are not, sir. We should not misinterpret the position that we are in today here. The Treasury and the opposition bench, they have clearly mentioned in their speeches, including yourself, sir, that you understand the importance of this issue.
What is this? Honorable Chief Minister, it is 2 o'clock now. So in exercise of the rules 11 of the Rules of Procedure and Conduct of Business, I extend the sitting of the House till this resolution is disposed of. You may continue.
Thank you, Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir. As I was saying, that each of the members who participated, there was a sense of emotion in each one of them, and they expressed their heart on how they are concerned about this issue. And yet, because of the technical aspect of this resolution being brought in, they were not able to support the resolution. That does not mean that they are not understanding the reasons and the issues that are there. For the knowledge of this House, in the last 53 years, there has never been a resolution that has been brought by opposition which has been passed and accepted by the House. So it's not for the first time that it's happening. No matter how critical the issues are, based on technical facts, the ruling is not able to support the resolution. So having said that, this issue of Winter Capital has been something that we've been obviously concerned. Many organizations have met me. I have met almost all organizations that have approached me. Last year there was a situation where there was a hunger strike And I appealed myself to the members of those organizations that let us start engaging and discussing. And we called them to the circuit house to discuss this matter. And they refused to come to the circuit house. After that, my team, including the officials and the police of the administration, asked me to not go. Of course, I'm sorry. Then they asked me to come to their location. Sorry, I forgot to mention that. So they said they will not come to Secretariat, but I have to go to their location where they are having the hunger strike. And I was advised by my police that I should not go. And hence, right next to the place where they were having the hunger strike, we have the CM Secretariat office there. And so we had a meeting point where right next to that location, I called them to the CM Secretariat and had a discussion with them. I don't want to go into details of what happened before that or after that, or what transpired in the meeting that we had. But sir, that one step which I took, where against the advice of the SP, I trusted and I moved ahead. I was concerned about the issue, and to show my overall concern, in spite of being told not to go, as it was a security issue, I went, sir. And we all know what happened, but I went. So my point being that we are all concerned about this issue, number one. And number two, sir, wherever possible in the current circumstances, different steps are being taken. Sir, actions speak louder than words. We don't go around talking about different things that we want to do, except maybe during budget session. But we have acted firmly to ensure that all-round development comes to the state. Honorable Leader of Opposition mentioned in his speech that we, for the first time, started taking the cabinet to Resubel-Para, sir, your constituency. We had a cabinet meeting. To Jowai, to Sora, to Tura. And the whole idea of doing this is to give a sense of belonging to the people of the state. I know some members have mentioned about the cost. So these kind of meetings and programs that we do cannot be valued in terms of the cost. Because if you start looking at that, then you're losing the meaning of taking the cabinet to the people. How happy people feel when they say, oh, the cabinet is in my town. For the first time, it's happening in our town. So that is the kind of sentiment that goes with these kind of things. And there's a reason why we're doing it. So yes, cost is there. There's no doubt about it. Cost is there. But I think the larger messaging of involving everybody, to show that every section of our society, every district, every individual person is important to us. I think that is the larger messaging that we want to give. So therefore, our cabinet on the move, as we call it, will continue, sir. Will continue. In the beginning, last term, in 2018, I still have the papers with me, but we could not continue this program in the first term because of COVID. But we had started by putting ministers, cabinet ministers in charge of districts, specifically. And I made sure that the ministers from Khasi Hills would be in charge of Garo Hills, and the ministers from Garo Hills would be in charge, and Jente Hills would be in charge in different parts, wherever possible. Of course, it's not possible fully. And the idea being that we would want that minister to handhold every aspect, go to that village, go to that district and spend time. So therefore, sir, there are a lot of actions that we have taken to convey and show the intent of this government to involve people, to ensure that we bring all-round development irrespective of the regions in our state. The integrated administrative complex, 170 crores is going to be spent for an integrated administrative complex in Tura. In the beginning, we had thought we will make it into a small office. But let me share. If you look at the design of the integrated administrative complex, there is a room for the chief minister. There are rooms for all the cabinet ministers. There is a cabinet room. There's an office space for the chief secretary. Why are we doing this, sir? This is the action that I am referring to. This is how we will bring the administration closer. And it's not just Tura. In Jowai, the integrated administrative complex is coming up. Different facilities will be there. And this is again being done because of the aspirations, as we say, of the people. The need and the desire of the people to see that the administration, see and feel the administration coming closer to them. So therefore, sir, the process in one way is already on. We don't have to even declare things. The work is on. Our honorable member from Dalu mentioned about the Raj Bhavan in Tura. I appreciate. Previous regime had bought the land, started the work. For whatever reason, things got slowed down for quite a long time. But as soon as I came in, because it was something that I was eyeing and I was also not feeling comfortable seeing it just standing still like that. Without going into the history of things, but appreciating, as I said, past regimes for initiating that. As soon as we came in, we made it a point that we will go ahead and finish it. And when we went into the details, there was a huge cost escalation involved, and we had to find resources to do this. And I still remember talking to my officials. It's not about completing the Raj Bhavan. Understand what this is. This is not just a Raj Bhavan, but it is a symbol of involvement and making the people of Garo Hills feel that yes, we are also being given that importance. That's what it is. It's a symbol. And that is the reason we made sure, sir, that we went ahead and the Raj Bhavan was completed, and I was so happy that it was inaugurated, and the President of India, who has never in the past ever come to Garo Hills and to Tura, was there and was stayed one night, and as I said, even inaugurated the Meghalaya Games. Sir, it's not just, as I said, about how we have approached the entire administrative functioning and infrastructure in locations like Tura and Jowai. We have an integrated administrative complex coming up in Peninsula, in the Honorable Deputy CM's office, constituency. For the first time, all blocks in the state, all blocks were given new buildings. New buildings, sir. There was some, I remember when I was earlier MLA of Silsila constituency. I remember going to the block, it's a bad shape, it was in bad shape. As a huge block, over 1 lakh population came under that one block. That time, sir. Now, of course, Battabari has come in and others. But it was a huge block. And the office was, I think, sir, maybe just double the size of this area that you're sitting in. That's it. And I still remember making up my mind at that moment that the moment I get a chance to ever do something to make the blocks, I will make sure that I make all the blocks. These decisions that I made in 2008-9 when I was MLA, I didn't think that I'll give this opportunity to be leading the government. But in whatever capacity, I told myself that I'm going to move ahead with this. Though 2008, we got 1 year, but it was not enough for me to move things at that point in time. But when I got the full opportunity, sir, we have sanctioned blocks, new block buildings for all the blocks. And not only that, all the new blocks that have been created, we are sanctioning new buildings for them this year. So all of them will get new buildings. I don't remember the year because the data is not with me right now. But Bakmara constituency, our MLAs here in South Garo Hills, MLAs are here. 35 years back, the district was announced. Am I correct? 35 years? So 35 years back, the district of South Garo Hills was formed. And many people may not know, till last year, there was no DC office sanctioned in Bakmara. Bakmara has been functioning for 35 years without a DC office, in the old SDO office. And it was with the insistence of Mr. Rakam and all the other MLAs that we sanctioned the new DC office in Bakmara, and very soon the work will be completed. It's not just Bakmara alone, sir. If you go to all the new districts that have been created, most of them don't have SP offices. We are sanctioning that. So my point simply being that the crux of the matter out here, apart of course from the emotional aspect and the importance of the feeling of the belongingness that is there, this aspiration that is there. Besides that, sir, the administration and ensuring that we are able to bring governance closer to the people, which is from where all of this has evolved, has been one of the top priorities of my government, sir. And we have left no stone unturned. And that is why when we had this 25 crores that we had planned for the mini secretariat, I completely changed the plan. I completely changed it and I added 3 new blocks to it. And today from 25 crores, we are going to be spending 170 crores to make this new administrative complex in Tura so that we are able to facilitate the services, as mentioned by the Honorable MLAs, so that people of Garo Hills don't have to travel far. And not just Garo Hills, people of Jente Hills. We feel Jowai is Jente Hills, but sir, you go to Clariat and you go to Sutunga, it is very deep. We think that there is an examination center in Shillong. People from Jente Hills can come very easily to Shillong. Yes, maybe Jowai can come, but you expect Clariat people and Sutunga people and all Saipung area to come here. Not easy, sir. So we need to keep all of these aspects in mind and ensure that there is a holistic approach as to how we can make the administration at the grassroots much stronger. Sir, apart from the cabinet, I was just listening to the speech of Honorable Elo, and he was mentioning that why not have one or two sessions once in a while, one day in Juwai, one day in Tura. And so you believe it or not, he got it right. I've already been discussing this aspect with Honorable Deputy CM, with the Speaker, and with other leaders. We have not come to a conclusion yet because we feel it requires a bit of consultation and administrative thing. But there is no harm, sir. There is absolutely no harm. It's good if the MLAs go. As I was mentioning, sir, when we were having the Meghalaya Games, it cost us a lot of money to host the games. But one doesn't realize it's not just about the games. It's about the character building of the people who participate. It is about the exchange program happening between the kids. I think I mentioned in this house that on an average, 70 to 75% of the athletes had never in their life gone to Juwai. Never in their life had gone to Juwai. It's very hard to imagine that because we go to Juwai so often, and you to hear that some of the kids in their life have never gone to Juwai. So it is something that we should be concerned about, to be very frank. And that's why we're starting this exchange program. But similarly, for the cabinet to move and to see with their own eyes, sir, I don't know how you feel or others feel about it, but this is something I feel very strongly. That when you are right there at that moment, and you see the issue with your own eyes, you hear it with your own ears from the person concerned. So the impact is much more than just sitting in Shillong and getting one petition and reading it and, and trying to do something out of it. The idea of connecting directly. So therefore, these things are expensive, sir. But I urge the House to keep this in mind. The price that we will pay for these kind of programs, where the cabinet moves, where the MLAs move, possibly even having sessions, the prices cannot be valued simply by the cost that you. So the returns are not just simply by the program you have, but the messaging that you give, the messaging of integration, the messaging of making people feel important. And that is really, sir, at the crux of all the activities that we are trying to do, sir. So therefore, I just want to give a sense to the House that there are many programs, many aspects that are going on where we have sent a very strong message that all sections of society, every single community and citizen who is our citizen of our state is important to us. And we will carry everybody along in our work. And in terms of all the administrative work, as I said in the beginning of my speech, sir, actions speak louder than words. Our actions have clearly indicated the fact that we are concerned about the citizens and that we want to involve our citizens. We want to give them a sense of belonging and a sense of being part of the entire process. And that is what has been driving this entire desire to have the Winter Capital in Tura, sir. So having said that, to come to the conclusion, I have a long point, sir. I've got more than about another 50, 60 points, but I will refrain from going into all of that. Sir, the honorable member from Rangsakona, as well as the other members, had given some points and some suggestions. I have also read the text of the resolution very carefully. And it says that the House do not resolve to urge upon the government to examine the demand, as correctly pointed out by honorable member from Dadingri. And therefore, sir, as has been the process that is followed in the House, I urge the Honorable Elo to withdraw the resolution. Because as a government, no government has ever passed a resolution that is brought by opposition. So I'll be very frank about that. It is not, it's a technically complicated issue. But the spirit of the resolution, where let us sit and examine, let us sit and discuss, let us bring people and talk and then explain the whole thing about all aspects, because it's correctly mentioned by so many members, it's not so easy, sir. To make this happen, we'll have to really put our heads together. There's a lot of people to talk to. We have to talk to people from all corners and everywhere. We have to talk to the society. We have to talk to NGOs. So many NGOs have written letters to me. I don't want to go to details. And I've appreciated all the things they've mentioned. I've told them that we will discuss. Let us put up that platform and we can examine. I have no issue in that, sir. But as I said, we cannot go with the resolution as such. But in the spirit of the resolution, I can put up an all-party kind of a committee. Let this all-party committee discuss this matter. Let it discuss with all different stakeholders even from Khasi Hills, from Jente Hills, from all the rural areas, Garo Hills, everywhere. Let us also share the different aspects of what is happening in this, how, what kind of complications are there. As I said, it's easy to say something, but then to fructify it is a different issue. There are so many practical aspects that we need to look at. And as I said, all the actions that we are doing are speaking louder than the words. We are already implementing so many things that are, in a way, what a winter capital is. There's infrastructure coming up. You see the online systems that we have now. Half our services, or more than that, the services are now online. Very soon, MPSC. We will not be able to require the students to come to Shillong for the examination. We are working, in a war footing to put up this examination center in Tura and in Jowai, so that the students from, again, as I said, from Clariat, from all the interior locations of East Jente Hills, will not need to come all the way to Shillong, whereas they can have the exam in Jowai itself. So all of these actions are great example of what we are doing to decentralize things, to make it easy for people to get the service, and as I said, to bring overall administration closer to the people. So, sir, with these few words, once again, I thank all the members. I could make out that all were emotional also. But as I said, here we are as a government, and since this opposition has brought this resolution, we are going to go with the spirit of it. We will be having the committee. We will call different stakeholders to examine. And with that assurance from my side, I would urge our mover of the resolution if he can withdraw the resolution. And with these few words, I resume my seat. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Now may I know the minds of the mover of the motion, resolution, whether he would like to withdraw his resolution or not.
Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, I must at the very outset place on record my deep sense of appreciation for the elaborate and comprehensive reply, and which itself is indicative of the spirit which is in sync with the spirit of this resolution. Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, you have enlightened us very elaborately. In fact, I could see that you were becoming emotional at the time of your submission, because these issues revolves around the aspirations of people, of our dear people. And as I've said, there are reasons for us to be emotive sometimes, because we know where we stand. Before I make my this stand known, I only want to make a submission on one particular submission made by one of the members from Rongjeng, my neighbor, that why you did not do you during your time. You see, government, the repository of state power is upon all of us, including the government employees. And with this comes the responsibility of carrying forward to fulfill our call of duty based on the time. There's time when we need to keep quiet, there is a time when we need to speak. And let it be very clear, abundantly clear, that the collective voice of the people demanding this has not been so loud and clear during my time. Let us be abundantly clear. Yes. Was there a representation given to the government at that point of time? No. Yes. So therefore, the aspirations and hopes based on which the overall desire of the people will evolve. It's a process of evolution, Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir. Anyway, he has chosen his way of putting his words, but I don't think it's in a good spirit. And please do not tend to blame or somehow articulate the things in such a way that one would like to pass on the blame. That is politics. I have during my submission, I have said that let us not play politics with these sensitive issues. That's why, see, we belong to different political parties, different spectrum. And therefore, we need to really do very careful tightrope walking. The way I have scripted the resolution itself, the Honorable Chief Minister has read himself. I have thought as to how to script it in a manner that in spirit we all can agree. And I'm successful in that because we have put all our efforts, successive governments. Yes, I'm happy that I could start at Governor House. Yes. Governor, His Excellency Musa Hari was very pleased to lay the foundation stone during our time. And there's a lot of story about that Governor House. The land was indicated for Governor's House to construct a Raj Bhavan, to the addition of Raj Bhavan. It took long time. In fact, I'm tempted to only say that how closely I'm personally involved in this. I had to request my wife to pay money for the land owners because the delay in acquiring that land ultimately was forcing the land owners to sell the land for others. I had to intervene, I had to request, I had to pay the money in advance so that they pay back my wife after the acquisition process completed. So all these things were completed. These are in sync with the aspirations of the people. So I'm happy that successive governments are taking appropriate steps in sync with the aspirations of all the people, whether it is the people of eastern part or western part. I thank the Chief Minister. He knows, he understands, because these whispering talks were there even during the time of Dr Sangma. I was witness to those whispering talks. So evolution of desires will ultimately manifest at appropriate time. And this is exactly what is happening. And I understand that Honorable Chief Minister has already understood his responsibility associated to fulfilling these aspirations. I am very happy. I know what you are planning to do because I can read between the lines. So, samajhdaro ke liye isara hi kafi hai. So, with these few words, I am very happy that he has appreciated the way it is scripted, and that itself is a testimony to his commitment to proceed further. He has already, in fact, pronounced in this August House. This has become a part of the proceeding of this August House. So thank you, Mr. Chief Minister. And with these few words, I am extremely profusely pleased to seek the House of, leave of the House to withdraw this resolution, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Since the mover has withdrawn his resolution, now let me put the question before the House. The question is that the mover has the leave of the House to withdraw his resolution. Those who are in favor say aye. Those who are against say no. The ayes have it. The ayes have it. And the resolution is withdrawn with the leave of the House.